There's different layouts in the Power Flower book deck set. And one of them that I love so much is called the Blossoming Self. And what it has is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. And the bottom card is what we call the root, the foundation that holds us at this time. You might say it's the seed that all will blossom forth from. The second card is the first leaf that appears, that is the identification of the plant. And so here we see, what can we identify? What do we already know about, how we are building and our foundation? The third card, is the next aspect of the plant, the leaf that is sort of still curled and furled. And we see what is unseen. What might we find out about that we're not fully conscious of? The fourth card is the stem, which I call the umbilical of the plant that seeks the sun and moves upward. And it's the action card, so it's what we must do. And then the fifth card is the flower, the blossom. It's the crowning potential of what will manifest if we follow and understand the information that has been given to us. And so I had mentioned to Patricia that it would be actually great to do a blossoming self for all of us, to look at 2016 and what is available to us, what we might want to watch for, maybe perhaps some things that we're not aware of. And again, with the fourth card, the stem, what action we can take to better assist, move us forward, and activate the process of the actual blossoming and manifestation. So while I've been talking, I've been shuffling the cards. You might hear them in the background here. I've been holding them and warming them up. And what I want to do is, with everybody's attention, anyone there who's listening with me and sharing in this call, if you could focus with me together, because we're going to do a collective layout. Again, this is our blossoming self as we move into 2016. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead now and choose 5 cards. And I'm holding the energy with all of our listeners, and I feel this beautiful networking. Card number 1 and card number 2. Card number 3 and card number 4 and card number 5. Okay? So thank you for focusing with me. And I'm going to lay them out in sequence, always from the bottom up, because that's the first card. And there we go. Okay, so we have our blossom, we have our plant. So let's look at the foundation. What is holding us? What is it that we must seed within our being that will, in a sense, sustain us? We can always draw back on. It's part of the plant's, you might say, alchemical frequency. And I have to say, this is very beautiful for us. And it's the zinnia. And the zinnia is connected to the archetype of Potai, or the Laughing Buddha. And it looks like we need to believe in play and the joy that is inherently there. Again, we spoke about that with the works of Edward Bach, that he believed that at the foundation and the core of every human being was the essential gift of joy. Well, here we see Potai, beautiful Laughing Buddha, and many of you know this Buddha, I'm sure, as you rub the belly for good luck. His arms are held upward, and in this beautiful picture, he's holding a big zinnia flower, a beautiful orange flower with a yellow center. And we take zinnia flower essence to help us with lethargy, to help us to activate. It's very good for elderly pets, for plants, that are wilting, for elderly, and also for any of us who may be experiencing inertia. It's also beautiful to instill the action of joy, happiness, and play within our being. So that's the foundation we can always go back to. So what is it that we know? This is a beautiful card. It's Angel's Trumpet. And Angel's Trumpet is connected, interestingly enough, with the archetype of New World Man. And there we see the beautiful angel trumpet that blossom bows to earth and blossoms at night. And so we know that there's this beautiful connection to the moon energy with angel's trumpet, and that we are to understand that we have become awakened to a new frequency on earth. And angel's trumpet is often used during phases of transition. It can be beautifully assisted during the process of dying, also through the process of birthing, and also through cycles of transition in our life that are difficult. And they help us to move through, to assist the emotional body to find its relationship to the luminous light and the darker parts of our inner life that we may bring light to. So we're very aware then of our angel's trumpet reality, but what we're less aware of, and this is beautiful, that wants us all to be aware of, is pomegranate. And pomegranate is connected to the archetype of Persephone. And we all know, many of us, the Greek myth where Persephone is pulled into the underworld and is given the pomegranate seeds. And when she eats those, she is then, in a sense, destined to live 6 months of her life in the underworld and 6 months in the upper world. And what I want to mention in studying archetype and myth is something that I also adore. We find an earlier myth of Persephone called Kore, spelled Kore, who willingly walked down the labyrinth into the darkened world and took her place as queen of the underworld. And this is also connected to the Black Madonna and the different archetypes like Kali that connect us to our place of willingness. However, in this mythology, Persephone, as the maiden, is yanked into the underworld and finds herself, in a sense, grappling with this sort of balance of the world of light and dark. Pomegranate essence assists us in understanding how to balance the outer world with the inner world. And that's something that we're all being asked to do in 2016. We're active, we're busy, and much of that chaos brings us, in a sense, a kind of deep yearning for soulfulness. And pomegranate will help us to nurture ourselves and nurture our home life while at the same time remaining busy and, and active with our demands of work and family life, etc. So pomegranate is asking us to balance and to nurture ourselves. The stem card, the fourth card, is beautiful. Saguaro cactus. Saguaro is considered the redwood tree of the forest, of the desert. As we know, the saguaro cactus grows 1 inch per year, and it can grow up to 30 feet tall or higher. And it's an amazing plant. And in its essence, we find a kind of authority. It holds the authority, like the great redwood tree. And with saguaro cactus, we learn about the integrity of power. The archetype is connected to Father Time and the wise Indian sage. And there's a beautiful picture of a wise Indian man with flowing white hair and feathers and sort of blurring into the beautiful saguaro with an eagle flying overhead. And what we find is that if we stand in our own authority in all that we do and heal that part of the inner patriarch that is wounded within humanity, within ourself, each and every one of us, to heal the inner male, that we will find a greater unity with the divinity of the divine feminine. It looks as if we all have a piece of that to heal within ourselves, that we may stand in our authority and use our power well, so that we may, in a sense, become masterful and skilled, building in the toward the foundation and the manifestation toward our creative projects. The blossoming potential for us all is California poppy, and this is also called the golden chalice of nature. And California poppy opens us to the great psychic abilities of imagination, clairvoyance, creativity, and also helps us to understand the dream walk on Earth. It's very beautiful. And so in a sense, if we find our inner authority, and if we are able to nurture and balance and really connect with the beautiful joy of our original essence, we may envelop and be crowned with, you might say, the beautiful golden potential of our clairvoyant self. We may walk the dream walk of Earth fully awake, but in a sense enthralled with the beautiful dream of our mystical incarnation. It opens us up so that we may receive information, that our antenna is connected to a higher vibrational frequency. And it also helps us to become more abundant so that we may manifest our dreams more fully. So that's what we have for 2016.